Hello. So today what I want to do, and I'm very excited about sharing a product with you. Now, I have camped for years now. Every week, pretty much, I sleep in the woods. This is not at a campground. This is out in the wild. We have black bear in this area. We have many packs of coyote and many moose. Each one can be a concern and a threat. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you a cool little piece of gear that I will be carrying on my camp trips from now on. Now I say from now on, I can't say that for sure, but I'll be carrying it a lot. There's probably places that I would not set this up just because of concerns one way or the other. But this is what it is. Fifth Ops Camp Safe Perimeter Trip Alarm Kit. Now this comes with a primer holder, some Kevlar tripwire, and the detonating device. Now this takes number 209 shotgun primers, and I've got one in the kit here. I'm going to show you how to set this up. We're just going to try a couple different configurations and see how it works. So stay tuned. So in this bag right here, I have taken out a couple different devices and such and put it all in this bag. This here is the device right here. It comes with these two pins. What I did is, and this key ring here. Now I put the key ring in first, and then I put the two pins on the key ring. That way I'm not going to lose them, and I'll have to take them off when I want to use the device. But for storage, I have it like this. This here is a screw eye that I'll screw into this dead tree right here, and then attach my detonation device to that. Now, whenever you're carrying shotgun primers and such, you have to take care, of course. I do not have any in this holder, but this is the holder. You can put them in here. I had it in this bag with a lot of metal and such. I'm not going to throw this in there. I would keep this separate in another compartment where I know these are not going to get hit. Now this does come off like this, and this is kind of cool. This is your Kevlar right here, and this just folds down like that, and then I'm able to grab my line and deploy it. So I've cleared any dead bark and such away from this tree. This is also frozen, so I don't have to worry about the little bit of flash from the primer going off. So I'm just going to screw this in here, and we're just going to test it, a basic setup right here. So I'm screwing this in first, this screw eye. I'll put that in like that, because what happens is this end here comes off, and this is where you put your primer in this cap. So this screws off here like that. I'll be putting this up through like this and screwing this back on. So you have to leave room for that, so I'll have to twist this out a couple times and then put it up through. Make sure this fits, and you can screw that back on when need be. So that's going to work right there. The plunger is down, that's why I can't screw it in right now. I have to pull the plunger up and put the pin in, then I'll be able to screw that on. So I have the two pins in my hand right there, and I'm going to make sure I hang on to them real tight. I'm going to need one, but I've got to pull this back, and it kind of locks on the side a little bit like that. And now I can put my pin in, and it centers it, and now it's in there and the pins in. Now I'm able to screw this back on. Do not put a primer in this. I'm not going to put a primer in this until I have it all set up and such. This here is a safety. There's another hole right here. I put the safety pin through, but I'm not going to put the safety pin through right now until I actually set it up here. The reason why is that will just fall out and I'll lose it in the snow. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to run my line, get it all situated, and then hook it to here, put the primer in. Then once I'm up here, I'll put the safety in before I ever put the primer close. So the way I'm doing these, setting these up, this is how I'm doing it. I'm not giving you any advice on how you should do it. Contact the manufacturer to find out advice and such, because you are working with explosives. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to screw that in. I still do not have a primer in there. So I don't have the safety in it either. And I'm going to put the safety in my pocket so I do not lose it. Because right now it can fall out so easy, and you either, I'm working way up here just to show it to you. But that will be good just like that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my line here and then go over to a tree. Just like that. Now I'll run over to this tree, tie it there, and then that would be set up if it had a primer and so on. So let's tie it on the other tree. I want this fairly taut, so just going to do that. It's not going anywhere. That would work. Okay, so now I'm going to load a primer in it and we're going to give this a try. So I've got my primer right there, and that just drops in the bottom portion right here. Now I'm putting my safety pin in and making sure it doesn't fall out. So I've got my safety pin in there because I do not want that pulling out and detonating this primer. Very, very important. Okay. Now, that is all set. I can pull the safety pin out, and now it's all set. I'm going to walk on the other side and see the resistance of this before it goes off. Okay, that was a little louder than what I thought. I've heard it said it sounds like a .22 rifle. That one there was a little louder than a .22 rifle, for sure. But yeah, that would get your attention for sure. And your pin stays right on your line. You just take this off, you can reset it. Put your safety pin in. And you can switch out for another primer. So I have this big screw eye here, and what I'm going to do is try to set this up with a 90-degree. Now, I have my buddy Pete, he's a veteran, and he said that they used to actually set up a whole square perimeter with one device. So I'm sure you can do that if you have multiple of this, but I'm going to make like a 90-degree angle using this and seeing how that works with tripping this. So I have this rather high, like I said, just for demonstration purposes. I have a screw eye here. This is in another dead tree. And I've got my spool up here. And I've got my end that I can tie to right here onto my pin. And then I'll take, once I get that fastened to the pin, I can pull it taut and I'll go over and tie the spool to that tree on the other side, making a 90. So right now I've got this end and I had to put it through the eye, so now I have it through the eye. I can put it through on the pin. I'm going to turn this around, pull the pin out some. I want that pin pulling straight out. It didn't take much to pull that pin. So I've got that right there, and now I can tighten it up on the other side. Got that all set. Now we can recharge that, and I'm not going to walk through this portion. I'm going to walk through that and see with that eyelet if that will pull that out, which it should. But with that, you could put another one in that tree, a screw eye, and another one that way, and bring it right back so you have the whole four corners with one device. So we're going to arm this again. So I'm going to unscrew this. I'm going to put the safety pin in right there, and I'll drop my primer in the bottom cap here and then screw it back on. Now I have the safety pin in, very important in case that pulled out. You want that firing pin to stop, because you do not want your hands near that when it goes off. Okay, that's tight on the bottom. I can remove the safety. Okay, now I'm going to walk through. There you go. Very cool. So that is the Camp Perimeter Tripwire device. Now this little kit is pretty cool, and it can give you an early warning if something's entering your camp. So your Kevlar tripwire, you just roll it back up, flips back over. This flips over like this, so you can unroll it. You flip it back over, keeps it in place, and I have those pins back on that key ring. Also, I have the screw eye that's in my pocket right now, but it'll be put back in the kit. I also have this device here that is fitted for 12 gauge, so it takes the 12 gauge blanks, the flash bangs, and so on. Now this one here is an adapter, so it can take the 209 primers. So that won't fall out right now because the pin's down. I pull the pin back and it will fall right out. So there it is right there. You pull this back, you do the same thing, put your pin in, and then you can load it the same way. You put your primer right in this little cap right there. You'd have your pin in, just drop it in. Now this is going to be a separate video and keep an eye out for that. Take care. Thanks for watching, and all the best.